Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Monday, August 24th, and this morning I am joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at BoomyTCF. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLiliaTCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Go over to Instagram, follow the Typical Chicago Fans Instagram page, and go over to Facebook and like the Typical Chicago Fans Facebook page. Go over to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube page. Like, we're trying to get to 100. I think we're around 70 right now, but we'd love to be at 100. So go over to Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page, subscribe, and wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, subscribe, rate, review. If it's Spotify, follow us on there. And if it's Spreaker, I think we got a few more likes on Spreakers, boys. It may not just be Boomy's uncles, but
the monopoly might be gone.
But we
Hey guys, we're at guess how many YouTube subscribers we have?
69.
Yes, we do.
Nice. All right, so let's as much as I would love to stay at 69, let's
get us to 100.
Let's get to 100.
Push to 100. Let's go.
But boys, so big news here. Big news. We are talking last week. We've been talking about our 26shirts.com promo code that we're coming with. It's for Chicago products only. 26shirts.com. Go over there, type in Typical Chicago Fans in all caps, and you get 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans in all caps, and you get 15% off of your purchase.
If you're a dummy like me and can't do math, that's about $4.50.
Yeah, for a T-shirt. Yeah. They also
Yeah.
have flags and hats. Also, if you want to throw that in there, and you go over to 26shirts.com and go to the Chicago section.
Dude, I went to their website tonight and I was looking at some of their shirts. Once you said the promo code, because I needed that 15%, and obviously anytime you use a promo code, it helps out your boys here.
Yeah,
but I was looking at, dude,
right,
they got
Matt.
talls like for their regular T-shirts. They got
beautiful.
talls, they got bigs, they got for sweatshirts, they got the regular hoodies, but then they got the lightweight ones too, like the really kind of thin ones, the kind of light cotton ones. It like perfect for like fall and stuff, dude. I love those kind of hoodies. So
I
it's
totally
perfect.
forgot I had a few at my parents' house that my parents had gotten me for Christmas. So I have to go get those till today, and I will go get those and wear them on the show. Yes, it's super nice for people like me, who I'm a little bit taller, but I guess not anymore, as skinny. But it's nice to have that long T-shirt, and that is what 26 Shirts have. So go over to 26shirts.com. Chicago, use the Typical Chicago Fans in all caps promo code. Again, that helps your boys out. So go over Typical Chicago Fans in all caps, 15% off of your purchase. Boys, at least it's been a day of good news on Sunday. Because the first few days of the weekend weren't the best. But let's get into it here. The White Sox-Cubs Crosstown Recap. First two games were not pretty for the Cubs. The White Sox offense was explosive. I think every run they scored was off of a home run.
Yes.
Jose Abreu had 6 home runs in the series itself.
12 at-bats in a row.
That's insanity, dude.
Unbelievable. Wasn't a big fan of the Chicago Cubs tweet about like not having to face him tomorrow and being happy. I mean yes, it sucked, but I didn't like that. But what I also didn't like was, okay, I get it. Yes, the White Sox, big win for them. Still in third place. I think they have their 18 wins now, but they still are in third place.
17 and 12.
The Cubs are in first place, and whatever you want to say about the divisions, they are in first place. And yes, some of those games were blowouts, but it got a little, I don't know, it got a little like they were winning the division here, or they were winning a playoff game or something. I didn't get into the mud too much like our guy Matt over here, because you can only say so much, I guess.
Typical little brother / stepchild syndrome,
but they were
man.
talking about it. Mully and Haw had like a little bit of an impromptu baseball show after the game, talking about the Crosstown series and whatever. And they were kind of saying like how, yes, the White Sox were happy to win it, but if the Cubs got swept, like it wasn't that big a deal. If the White Sox got swept, it would have been a big deal.
If the White Sox would have got swept, it would have been like, it would have been.
But it just wasn't that. I mean, it sucked.
Yeah,
John Lester had a John Lester game. He's gonna have those kind of games. We can move on from that. Kyle Hendricks, it wasn't that bad of a game. It was a tough, hard fought.
Can't
game
pull him there for one.
End.
Let him pitch out of that inning.
Yeah, the bullpen, let it go. The bullpen is going to be whatever the whole season. I don't know.
I want to say something about the game today, though, with the bullpen. Was Craig Kimbrell. You come in, you look really good for a couple. You look really good for a couple at bats, and then you just stop using your fastball all of a sudden.
He kept trying to throw every.
What the hell are you doing, dude?
I don't know what the bullpen was trying to do to me today, but they were trying to get me a heart attack. I mean, that last inning,
Kimbrell just can't throw a curveball for a strike.
And then Jeffries he would get ahead in the count, and then it would be the next thing you know, it would be 3-2. And I was listening to it on the radio on my way to a softball game, and it was just like, come on, like what can we get out of this inning? Can we please get out of this inning? I'm like, what's going to happen? And they had the bases loaded, and you just think the worst because that's what's been happening this whole weekend. Has been kind of the worst for the Cubs. But you kind of shake it off. The Cubs are going to Detroit. But Matt, before we get into that, what were your thoughts on the weekend?
This is a frustrating weekend. I mean, you got a great start from Darvish today. Or yesterday, I should say. That was huge.
Cy Young candidate.
That guy's he's an unbelievable pitcher, and I think Hendricks served up a meatball to.
And he knew it. He knew it. He was mad at himself.
And
he did that. I think he did that in exhibition game too. They were
when you throw 88 or 86 and you leave it up out over the plate, it's absolutely going to be murder. Yeah, it got murdered. But Hendricks is who he is. We know he's a great pitcher. I think more frustrating for the weekend was the offense and the hitting, the lack of hitting. You're going to get bad outings, like you said, or Lester had a really bad outing on Friday, but the bats were nowhere to be found.
Even today,
against Ronaldo Lopez. It's Ronaldo Lopez, man.
That was frustrating.
And then Dylan Cease, it's not like he was overpowering. He looked good. He looked sharp. You didn't give him a lot to work with, but it's not like he was unhittable today.
No.
I
mean, the whole weekend,
they ran themselves out of innings a couple times. They had I don't know what the hell they were doing on that stolen base attempt with Contreras today. It's just certain decisions. It's just like, what are you guys doing? Got to clean some of that shit up.
But it's one of
got to get the hit.
Look at it this way: we are in first place. Contreras has been kind of off lately. Baez has been off all season. Chris Bryant's been injured
and off.
Yeah, and off. Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of figure out why he was off. I think he was trying to play through that as much as he could. And it's just one of those
Schwarber's
things. We're lucky
ups
to be
and downs,
in the
I'd
spot.
say.
Yeah, today we're literally we're only a Schwarber home run that saved that game. That's all that happened there because that offense was still not there at all. I mean, we just kind of got lucky with a Schwarber home run because it was the whole weekend. Yes, the White Sox played well, but what really sucked the most for me was seeing this offense struggle like this.
Well, I know we've talked about it at length too, and it's really frustrating, like you're saying, when the Cubs offense is bringing nothing to the table, and the White Sox offense is just absolutely unloading.
And I mean, they're going to be that way for years to come too. I think it's going to be a good offense. They're going to make a lot of pitchers pay. Hopefully, they get a pitching staff for them too.
Like those balls that they were hitting out were absolutely murdered.
Crushed.
They're murdered.
And we've said this for weeks now, and let's not take anything away. Like this offense on the South Side is we've said this in the league. Because people are going to come say, "Oh, you're just a bunch of meatball Cub fans," and we've said this for a long time. This White Sox team is good. The offense is good, and it was just a combination of their offense was really good, our offense was really bad, and you know what? Sometimes it's just the way it falls and it shakes down. But you have an opportunity to bounce back in Detroit, and like Matt said, the White Sox are just hitting the piss out of baseballs this weekend, and when you serve up fat fastballs that are letter high, they're going to get crushed. And there's so many excuses. The Cubs offense, they just have to gather themselves up and kind of get back to that earlier point that they were in the first 16 games rather than the last 11.
It's been bad.
Well, I think the thing with their lineup is like you get through the heart of their order. It's like, here's Edwin Encarnacion.
Yeah, here's all bats.
Here's Luis Robert.
He hit two home runs from both sides. He hit a home run from both sides of the plate this weekend.
Yeah,
it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and it sucks. It really sucks.
They've got to add some, because if you're going to have to tote Ronaldo Lopez or Rolando, whatever his name is, if you got to tote him out every fifth day, I mean, he kind of got away with one yesterday because he's not great.
I'm definitely back to hating that goddamn team. I can tell you that. Like all my good karma, my good feelings.
They're good, and that's good
anything I've said positive about them, like that I don't hate them, is all gone. I'm back to hating.
I think it's a good thing too, because I think there should be a healthy rivalry when their teams are good. So I think it's
healthy.
City.
It's healthy from this perspective.
It's fun. It's going to make I think they don't play until pretty much the end of the season.
I wonder if Pat's going to give us a bad rating in the morning when he listens. Because we're bashing the Sox a little bit here.
Hey, we've tried to be diplomatic.
They played well. Their offense played well. Like I said, you just hope that their pitching kind of comes together here. I know they don't have Kopech, but they're going to be a good team going forward. And hopefully,
just got to bust his chops a little
Cub
bit.
Fans,
He's listening.
I'm most worried about this offense, and hopefully, Rizzo snapped, I think, 0 for 15 today. He finally got a base hit, so we just got to get this offense going. And it's kind of been like the last week or so here. It's just been like, where is this offense gone? But let's move on. More baseball. Padres win 7 straight. Boomy has been making some money off of them, apparently. But ever since the Rangers got mad at them, the Tatis Jr. Grand Slam, they are unbeatable. They sweep the Astros. I don't know if you saw the video of the Padres fan sweeping the Astros right out of town. That's a beautiful, beautiful video that all fans can kind of get happy about, because no one likes more than seeing the Astros, especially this season, get swept. But this Padres team is a team to be reckoned with.
They're so good right now, man.
Good.
They're having fun too. Yeah. They look like they were on ESPN today, and they just look like they're enjoying baseball. I do worry a little bit about their starting pitching. It's not great, but damn, their lineup is fun to watch. And Tatis Jr. is,
they're doing it in unreal ways too. Grand slams, walk-offs. It's exciting. And think about this: your team is fun, your team is hot, and you're in San Diego. What better? How much better can it get? It can't get better than that. You're in San Diego. It's beautiful out. It's a great time of year, and your team has won 7 straight. And you have a cool ballpark. That place looks cool.
Boomy,
have you been?
Is awesome. I gotta get there.
Yes, I did a tour there. It's one of the coolest. I really wish I could have got to see a game there.
They take you the hotel rooms and stuff.
The thing in left field you're talking about?
Yeah, there's a hotel, isn't there?
Yeah, no, it was at one point, I believe. I don't believe it is anymore. They do like corporate functions. It's almost like a suite,
like a rooftop setup.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool, man, and it's the original building that has been there for 100 years, and they actually have their fan shop in the downstairs of it. It's really neat. It's just a very well put together stadium. It's maybe 5 blocks off the beach. It's a gorgeous field, and they got the whole you'll see it on the game sometimes out on center field. They have a park area that's free to go hang out in. You can actually see into the game. It's really nice, man. If you get a chance to get to San Diego, I highly recommend it.
They got studs too, man. You guys were talking about Tatis and obviously Machado. That Trent Grisham on Saturday hit 3 homers. That guy came over from the Brewers, so they kind of took another good player away from the Brewers for us. That helps us.
I love it.
It's a fun team. They're not afraid of anybody. You can tell they're just going to.
And they're not in an insanely great division. The Dodgers are leading it, but they're not.
Colorado's been unimpressive. Arizona's been unimpressive this year. You expect more from those teams. And obviously, the Giants have fallen on hard times too. So
you kind of knew they were not
there for the taking for them.
They're only 4 games out. I think they're going to make the playoffs. But, man, if you get a chance to catch a Padres game and you want to see, we talk a lot about guys that enjoy playing baseball, Javi Baez and, Tim Anderson. Like, those are guys that seem to enjoy playing baseball. And that's fun to watch.
You know what? I'd love having a late-night MLB team to watch, and that's going to be them as the Padres.
I'm with you,
because I hate the Dodgers. I don't want to watch
with
the Dodgers. I don't want them to win. I'm going to start watching some Padres.
I like them and the Diamondbacks for some reason. I don't know what it is. I like their stadium a lot, though, too. So
for some reason, every time I watch the Padres, I just think of James Shields. I don't know why.
Big game James.
Big game James Shields. They were talking about that. I think that was on the Yak today. Or the other day, they were
talking about it on the ESPN broadcast of the Padres game.
They were saying how that was one of the worst nicknames of all time because he was not big game.
Couldn't be more opposite of the truth.
But big day, boys, for the NBA playoffs. Luka with a game-winning 3, down 1 at the buzzer, hits a deep 3 for cold-blooded. That was.
I don't think he thought that was going in.
No, on one leg, the treatment. I don't know if you guys saw the kind of schedule he's been through since the last game, getting his ankle and hamstring worked on. He's 21 years old, boys. He is 21 years old, and he is out there doing that. So they tied the series up with the Clippers. That is going to be a fun one. Toronto sweeps the Nets, and the Celtics swept the 76ers.
Might have just ran.
Jazz just beat the Nuggets, too.
I saw that.
129-127.
Is that series
weird
tied
little
up?
side? Well, not a weird little. No, the Jazz are up 2-1.
I think it's 3-1.
Jazz, though, we're up 5. Murray came down the floor, hit a last-second 3. To lose by 2, it just so happened the point spread was 3.5. So a little bit of a winner there for the Denver Packers if you had the 3.5.
Well, I had their money.
Interesting backdoor cover there, but I don't know that Donovan Mitchell.
It's a lot of young talent on that court in those two teams
tonight. Just in that game alone, Jamal Murray. We were talking about him.
They had really 50 and 51. Matt Jamal Murray had 50, 11, and 7, and Donovan Mitchell 51, 4, and 7.
Murray was incredible, dude. He was just hitting 3 after 3 after 3. It was crazy. How many threes did he hit? How many threes did he end up with? NBA. How many threes did he end up with?
Which one?
Murray. I want to say it was 9.
Murray ended up with. I got it right here.
I don't know. I was gonna say he was every shot he was throwing up. It felt like it was going in.
Did you guys watch that overtime in the Thunder game? Everything Chris Paul threw up was just going in. Unbelievable.
Which was weird.
Unbelievable. That series is tied up, right?
Yes.
And then, like I said, with the Toronto
sweep. Oh no, I'm sorry. Rockets are up 2-1.
2-1. With that sweep of the for Toronto, they scored 150 points in 4 quarters. That's the Nets not good. But that's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Man, I don't understand, and I don't know if it's, I spend, more time than I should on Facebook, but, I don't understand people who don't watch the NBA playoffs. You don't understand what you're missing. It has been
sad is it going to be when the next round there's not, noon games. There's mostly,
right.
That's going to be sad. I'm going to be so sad when there's
but
not,
the quality of games is just.
I know, but what I'm saying, my point has nothing to do with yours.
Right. No, I get what you mean. It's been real nice to have games tipping off.
But that's what I mean. It's going to be so sad. Next round, they're not going to need it.
I'm with you, Zach. But tell you, Boomy, to your point, guys don't miss shots. They don't miss open shots. If they're open for 3, they're going to hit it. It's just the skill that they're playing with anymore is it's bananas.
Interview on Part of My Take.
Yes.
He was saying, you get an NBA player in a gym, they could easily rattle off 30 shots in a row. Just easy.
Right.
People don't understand, Dwight Howard could go 5 for 7 or, that was dumb.
Right.
9 for 10 from 3.
Dude, today I watched the backup center for the Mavericks, step out and hit 2 threes. I follow the NBA pretty heavily.
Especially it's like they're kind of in like an empty gym.
Yeah, like it's insane.
Watching that Nuggets game, you got a big guy like Jokic, and he's a beast. Like he's an absolute beast. And like 10, 15 years ago, he's not getting anywhere outside of the paint at any point of the game.
15 years ago, they played him like Eddie Curry.
Right. And this guy's out floating around the arc. He's, all over the elbows, he's all over the wing. Like the guy's just a shooter,
I would have to say this is the most competitive I feel like the NBA playoffs have been in a while. Like it's pretty. I mean, yes, we think that the Lakers will get to the NBA Finals or whatever, but it's not like it's like they're like the Warriors or anything from back in the day. Like it's still going to be competitive. But Anthony Davis has come to play here. I mean, he's played well over the last few games, kind of realizing that he can dominate and do whatever he wants against that team.
He's so good.
I mean, Portland.
You'd like to see him be a little more aggressive at times.
Because no one can guard him on that Portland team.
Right.
I mean, what do they think? Whiteside's going to guard him? Whiteside cannot guard him.
No. But going back to the series you talked about a minute ago with Luka Doncic and the 3 he hit today to at the buzzer, like that series 2-2, and the Clippers, that team is just loaded too. They got guys like it's just stud after stud after stud after stud on that team. But you forget like Lou Williams is just don't forget about that guy. Don't forget about everyone talks about George and Kawhi.
Marcus Morris,
right? Yeah, and then
I can't stand, but he's a good player.
Reggie Jackson, it's like they got really just such a deep roster.
Yeah.
And
speaking of the NBA, the Bulls get the 4th pick in the draft. They were supposed to they were in the range of I think it's like 7 to the 11th pick or whatever.
They were 7
right into there, got the 4th pick. The Timberwolves ended up getting the 1st pick. The Warriors not getting that 1st pick. Boys, I'm all in on the Obi Toppin because just the nicknames you could go along with it, and he looks good. But I'm just happy where they they got luckier than they should have gotten maybe in the lottery for once. They finally didn't get stuck at the 7th spot again. What are your guys' thoughts on the 4th pick?
It's a great spot for a new GM to be in. He's going to have a lot of great choices there. You said Obi Toppin, I wouldn't mind that. I've seen some places having LaMelo Ball falling all the way to 4. There's this kid, if you haven't watched the video,
that's the guy I'm looking at.
Kid in Israel is the 19-year-old. Oh my God, this kid's amazing. And with Karnisovas' history with European players, I think that might be I'm going to call my shot here, and I'm going to say this kid. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I don't want to butcher it too bad. But there's going to be. My point is, there's going to be good options for them. Whether that's Wiseman or Anthony Edwards, like there's going to be options there to fit in this team, and
they're in this
draft.
Have
a new coach. You're very right.
In this draft, there's not really like a Zion, but there are a bunch of players who will be good. Will be good NBA players.
There's the possibility of there being like a Devin Booker type player who might not be like boom right away,
but to get that guy.
Yes, exactly. It's a good thing.
It's exciting.
Well, I'm going to take a crack at it. It's Denny Avdija, I believe is how you say his name.
Boys, are we thinking about this draft a little bit differently because of no March Madness? That's kind of maybe sometimes where you see some players that you weren't thinking about before. But with not having that because of all the stuff going on,
imagine Obi Toppin goes out and Dayton makes a run to the Final Four. He might solidify himself as the one pick, or if they get bounced in the second round, then maybe he's not looked at that way. That's definitely a big part of it. I think you're onto something there.
We'll have to see. Maybe that'll help the Bulls because maybe his profile won't be as hot for somebody that is that they want. But I think that there's a different management in the Bulls organization, and hopefully we can we get the guy that we need.
Yeah, I'm all for the unicorn, man. Give me the freak show point guards. Give me those guys, man.
It's crazy.
I want that.
The top 5, I think at least 3 of them never played college.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Well, Wiseman did for 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, I guess 2 weeks, and then Obi Toppin went to Dayton. And who was the top 5?
Anthony Edwards.
So
Anthony Edwards went to Georgia.
But
who's
the Bulls
the other?
get lucky, boys. The Bulls get some luck. Would have liked to go up a little bit more, but we will take that 4th pick. Because me and Boomy actually turned it on right as they had the bottom 4, or the top 4, I guess. And then the Bulls went away right away. But still,
speaking of upcoming drafts, too, and I was stumbling when I was kind of looking at like who the Bulls could possibly take. I'm obviously looking at mock drafts and things like that, and I came across one for next year, and so I was looking at like kind of the prospects for the next year's draft. Actually, there's a kid, the number one high school prospect is Chet Holmgren. This kid from Minnesota. He's 7 foot tall, 190 pounds.
Oh my God!
He's an absolute beanpole, dude. And he sits outside. He's got ridiculous handles, and he shoots threes like crazy. It's nuts.
Where's he going?
His recruit it's still open, but Carolina's in on it, so I'm really hoping they kind of bring this guy in.
I wonder why you were looking at him now.
Yeah, well, there too. But no, this kid's. I don't think they're very.
But Bulls,
I don't think they have much of a shot at him. But this kid's a freak. You got to check him out.
That's awesome.
Boys, let's hope the Bulls are done with this lottery stuff. Hopefully, we can start making some playoff runs here. Hopefully, we can get ourselves a superstar in this draft. But let's move on. Boomy, I want you to get more into this because you were kind of talking about this. The false test controversy in the NFL. What's going on there?
So from what I understand, obviously all of the NFL teams are doing their COVID testing as players come in because they're training camps and everything. But the NFL investigating what they're calling multiple positive COVID tests from a specific lab that may lead them to believe that they are false positive. And I'm just going to read this just a little bit about a single lab in New Jersey. The NFL said Saturday's daily COVID testing returned several positive tests from each of the clubs serviced by the team's laboratory in New Jersey. We are working with the testing partner BioReference to investigate these results with the club out. They're not really exactly sure, but like it's guys that are like experiencing no symptoms whatsoever that are testing positive. And it says players from the Bills, Lions, Steelers, Vikings, Jets, and Packers are some of the known teams affected by this. So they're kind of working with this bio lab to figure out, what's going on with these tests.
That's crazy. Like that's just, I don't know. It just blows your mind that's a thing in a professional sport is going through something where there's just like a bunch of false positives. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Bears had 9 false positive tests this weekend. The Jets had 10. The Vikings have 12 presumptive positive tests. So the numbers are just going kind of crazy, and they're like, well, this isn't really making a lot of sense. Like these guys are, quarantining, and they're not. Like it's just kind of a weird situation, and that many going from like no positive tests to 12 in one day is a little suspicious. So I think they're just checking into the lab, and some of the teams did confirm them again through a different thing or a different lab or something, and they came back negative. So they're kind of all backtracking and seeing what's going on.
It's something to just kind of pay attention to. Hopefully they can get this all figured out and get along with training camp and stuff. Because when do you guys know when the first NFL game is supposed to be going on?
Week 1 is supposed to start September 10th.
That's pretty soon, boys. It is August 24th, and that's very soon.
2 weeks away.
That's crazy. Hopefully we get past all this, what would we say, a false test controversy, and get on to some NFL, because that's what America needs. Some NFL on Sundays.
Well, and if they are legit positives, then you tweak your system and get better, and you kind of learn from it.
Figured it out. Yes, they had to kind of shut down some series, but every team's kept it moving. So,
except the Cardinals.
No, but they've eventually gotten back to it in a way.
Finally.
Yeah.
Only took them 10 days.
I'm trying to stay positive here, man. But on another positive note, Pat McAfee makes his wrestling debut last night. or Saturday night, I guess. That was unbelievable. I've been watching wrestling since I was younger. I kind of gotten away from it because it's kind of just there really has been like a big time superstar or whatever. But Pat McAfee could get me back into wrestling. It's the NXT. I think he was doing against Michael. No, was it Cole?
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. And I mean, he was flying through the air, doing some of the most athletic things you can do in a ring, and it was his first time ever doing it. I mean,
what's his finishing move?
He got
lost. He lost.
Oh,
but he did. He had a sweet one. He had
like punt a guy or something.
He jumped.
He had him on the
turnbuckle,
ring. And then he got like Cole threw him off. He did a backflip and landed on his feet. And then there was another one. He jumped off another turnbuckle and flipped into like 10 guys and took them all out. So
no kidding.
It was pretty awesome.
Impressive. It's something that like 99% of former professional athletes couldn't do, and Pat's just crazy enough to make it happen. And he was good, man. You can tell he's been taking it serious, you know.
And there's always been that story about him drunkenly buying a wrestling ring, and it turned out to work out perfectly.
Yeah, hey, got him a shot in the WWE. So and I saw a lot of people praising him on Twitter about like how a lot of times when they'll do these celebrity, gimmicks, how they don't turn out very well, and a lot of people were saying
like staged it, how like they're just walking them through it because they can't like actually do the stuff and whatever. But he was out there legit putting his body at risk, and ultimately putting on a show. And I mean, the most eyes that maybe WWE or NXT have had in a while. So
definitely.
Hopefully we'll see more of that. Boomy, you got a wacky web story for us?
Of course I do. Last week I talked about, a good place to go travel, that place in Switzerland that was snowing cocoa dust across its city when one of the chocolate manufacturers' exhaust systems backed up and sprayed cocoa dust all around the city. But I got a place where you definitely don't want to go and get involved in because in Tokyo, they do this thing called zombie attacks. It's apparently a thing people can sign up for. But literally like these people dressed up as zombies with blood, fake blood can come out and attack your car, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And apparently they do this when coronavirus isn't going on and you have to run away from them. But obviously with virus, they do it through the car now. So it's like they just throw fake blood in your car and you have to find a way to get out. It's almost like an escape room in your own car, and you can't run the people over.
I'm gonna leave this at the.
But I don't know what that's going to. That sounds horrible.
People are weird.
People are weird.
People are weird. That's all you gotta say.
I like The Walking Dead. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. I watched.
To pay for that for something.
First
few
seasons.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree, Matt. It went way downhill, but people pay money to have fake zombies.
That's insane.
Fake blood on it.
Crazy.
That's great. Yeah, so if you're not into that, don't sign up for whatever this program is in Tokyo. So.
That's insane.
Go to Switzerland, get some cocoa dust snowed on you.
Yeah,
I'm completely out on that.
Yes.
100%
out. Boys, anything post-show from the weekend?
Pounded out some miles on the bike this weekend, Maddie.
Yeah, both you guys. I am hopefully going to join this TCF bike gang. But Maddie and Boomy have started it off for us here. Boomy doing about 15 miles.
Dude, don't do what I did. 15 miles is too much. My legs are
you
just.
Did about 35.
I'm always going to do a little bit more than whatever Boomy trots out there. So that's just always something.
Matt did 15 and a half.
Not to mention, I was toting 35 extra pounds behind me in the little trailer.
That is true.
Too, so.
That is true.
Come on. It's like
you got an argument to make there.
That's a life at
it's like
risk,
using a weighted vest.
That's a life at risk.
It's not fair to me, though. I don't have an extra, I can't just strap something.
Yeah,
I don't have that.
You can just take it, put weights in it, and then
buy the trailer, put the 35 pounds in there.
Man,
the extra, the bag of crackers and the bottle of water that's also in there. That's a little extra weight. There you go. I don't know. He likes it at night, dude. it chills him out. He likes to see there's a subdivision being built right across the street. So there's all kinds of like bulldozers and excavators and bobcats and stuff like that. So he likes checking those out, and streets are all wide open basically because there's just a couple houses. Yeah, he loves it.
Love it. But boys, hopefully everyone had a great Monday, got through their Monday. But this has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, August 24th. Thank you to Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 on Twitter, Boomy at BoomyTCF. Follow me, Zach Lilia, at ZLilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there and go over to Facebook and like the Typical Chicago Fans Facebook page. We are at 69 YouTube subscribers, but we would like to be at 100 as much as we think that's hilarious. We would like to
be race to
100. So let's get to 100, boys. And then if you get your podcast from Apple, subscribe, rate, review, type in Typical Chicago Fans, and give us a 5-star rating, please.
Whatever you do this week, though, because Bills are due next week, go over to 26shirts.com.
Well, yes.
Yep.
So spend that money before Bills hit, because the first of the month's coming. So head on over there, get you some quality T-shirts.
But also follow us on Spreaker, and go over to Spotify and follow us on there. But also they say thank you to 26shirts.com Chicago. Type in Typical Chicago Fans in all caps. You get your 15% off at purchase at the end of you go look through. Hopefully you get yourself a few shirts because, like you said, they got some awesome shirts. Maddie was saying how they got longs. The shirts are nice and long. Everyone you never like to have that little crinkled up shirt at the end, and you make sure these are long. 26shirts.com. Go to the Chicago section. Type in Typical Chicago Fans and get 15% off. Anything else, boys?
Let's have a great week.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
This has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, August 24th. We love you all.
Peace.